Digital currency. Digital money and assets are increasingly going mainstream and are being adopted into the global economy. It would be a false perception to believe your crypto holdings are secure in any sense of the word. It would be a false perception to believe your crypto are proliferating without being in control by the same piggy banks that control all other financial markets. We don't know who created Bitcoin or who owns the majority of the circulation. Whoever owns the majority of the circulation controls the price action cycles you're reactive to. We don't know the technical aspects of how it can be taken advantage of, and we don't have control over the future updates to the highly technical internal workings. Basically, everyone holding cryptocurrency doesn't understand the technical jargon or the real prevalent threats that will make it obsolete. If a solar flare temporarily disables the internet or the mining capabilities of multiple main mining hubs that the system relies on, then your holdings crash or are obsolete. If your internet access is restricted either intentionally or by environmental disasters, then you cannot access your wallet, buy, sell, and the panic that causes would crash your holdings. If an EMP is activated in strategic locations, it would crash your holdings. If a quantum computer was used to hack the system, it would crash your holdings. There will be a race to sell in time. The predictive powers of the powers that be have the upper hand and will sell their holdings before you do, either all at once sending the price to zero or over time using selling bots in a bear market. You are powerless. Imagine if we went all in on cryptocurrencies and the vulnerable digital infrastructure it's built on like some of you want us to do. We'd become extremely vulnerable as a civilization, and you should be seeing that now. The powers that be want us to go digital on their terms, and although blockchain technology is a new valuable monetary accounting mechanism, we must implement a more advanced version on our own terms. The true future of digital currency is the one built on a quantum blockchain technology using quantum computers. Don't dwell on that just yet. Let's continue to break down the ways the current blockchain technologies are important, but will inevitably become obsolete. Again, when your internet access gets disrupted or taken away from you, then cryptocurrencies, smart contracts, and blockchain technologies become obsolete or inequitable. How is that a good reserve asset at all like gold is? For some of these cryptos, even if you're up 2,000% in profit, those are all unrealized gains because you can't all sell to cash out or the prices go back down from a lack of liquidity. Physical assets like gold, minerals, and commodities are the best reserve assets to have because during times of destabilization, those assets remain solid. Your Bitcoin is invisible, weightless. Your digital wallet is easily hackable. The digital infrastructure is extremely vulnerable. And we're not the ones holding the majority of the circulation or the off switch. In the future, when there may likely be massive cyber attacks on the internet, and each of us, then we would be forced to capitulate to the powers that appear to save us. In this extremely likely hypothetical that will enable global powers to get more control, you'd have to be granted restored access to the internet, and that's only if you're a good member of their systematic technocratic dystopia, where we're all dependent on digital currency. We're going cashless, and going cashless is a dystopian nightmare if the cashless system is owned by these same global powers we're combating. You understand that, right? You need to account for how disruption to internet access will change things drastically. Your current access to the free and open internet is degrading, and already you are less free due to mass censorship. Already, American citizens are having their internet access restricted, and we've never been more vulnerable to cyber attacks from quantum computers. Imagine thinking you're going to go all in on cryptocurrency for the long term without realizing that it's inevitable suicide unless you have the insider knowledge of when to sell in time. Hyperinflation is ruining the dollar, and our economic turmoil from lockdowns is ruining trust in the dollar as an international payment method. China wants to own the global digital currency that the world is dependent on, and that's why they released their digital yuan. There may come a time where we have to completely digitize the hyperinflated US dollar to compete with their digitized yuan. That is, unless we move to fuse our economic interests and perhaps our currency with China in the years to come.